JoziMyBeginning is a competition that inspires communities to find solutions to their daily problems. This is the JoziMyBeginning show. This week, we take a trip to the Newtown precinct in the Johannesburg CBD. We receive expert training from Inquisition. We profile Barry Gear and his innovation to curb cable theft. And we speak to the co-owner of Future CEOs, Gareth Armstrong, on the big interview. Sanibonani, ngiyanamukela nonke emakhaya ehlelweni lethu lanamhlanje. I'm Ziggy Mkhize, and this is the JoziMyBeginning show, where we keep you informed on the JMB competition, our finalists and their progress. Before we go into it, do join us on social media, on Facebook at JoziMyBeginning and on Twitter at JoziMyBeginning. We'd love to connect with you during and after the show. The city of Johannesburg is buzzing with tourism, where places of historical value are fast becoming key attractions. Newtown Precinct is one such place. We visited the Region F in the Johannesburg CBD, where we met Regional Director Irene Mafuna, who spoke to us about the attractions in the area and how Newtown Precinct has turned into a tourist hub.
Our region is quite diverse, from a socio-economic, point of view. You've got, affluent people who've just moved in, mainly coming in on a daily basis to do business in the baking sector. People who are just coming in to run their own businesses. But you also have people who are living within the inner city, mainly migrant workers from various parts of the country, from South Africa and also from across the continent. Newtown has always been a cultural hub for the city, where you have, nightlife, music festivals, the theater. Recently, now in the last 2 years or so, we've seen the development of the Newtown Junction Mall, which has just been completed now, and I think it's thriving. And we also have the Queen Elizabeth Park, which has also just been completed on Transnet land as part of the agreement between the City of Johannesburg, of course, City Parks, being the leading department. That park was developed in 2013-2014, and it was opened by the executive mayor. It's got lots of equipment, ablution blocks, a lot of interactive facilities. It's got a little amphitheater where you can have your own activities. You've got the Saibono, which is one of the most visited places, by the school kids. I mean, it's very interactive. Kids, are allowed to even have, parents are even encouraged to have a science, theme party, for their kids. It is a region that has got a lot of opportunities. All in all, I think for us who are here and us who have been given the responsibility of ensuring that, we transform, we drive the regeneration, we can see the light. On each and every day, we are able to see the effort which government has put in place. It's a continuous program, redevelopment programs, that ensures that, as the city, we continue to ensure that, we work towards achieving that vision of creating a world-class African city.
5, 4.
There's a Russian proverb that says it's better to see something once than to hear about it 100 times. So if you find yourself with some time on your hands and bitten by the travel bug, make sure to go down to the Newtown Precinct. For more of our videos, log on to our website, jozimybeginning.co.za, and you'll find more stories that will inspire your entrepreneurial spirit and help you grow your next business venture. Next, Brandon has more helpful tips in our hints and tips.
You may or may not agree with me, but without an online presence, realistically your business has no presence whatsoever. So I found these tips by 12 Skip on how to market your business online and potentially double your sales. First up, build an attractive website. Your website serves as the first impression and can either attract your ideal audience or alternatively turn them away. It should be easy to navigate, promote a call to action, have a strong landing page, be accessible via mobile, and use attractive images. Secondly, work on your SEO. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization and is a process of getting website visits directed from your search engines. In order to improve your SEO, you need to constantly create quality content that is relevant to your industry. In short, you need to ensure that your website answers what your people are searching for. Thirdly, and you probably saw this one coming, build a strong social media presence. Create a social media strategy and prioritize 3 platforms and work from there. It's all trial and error, so test for what works and for what doesn't. The idea is to share useful or entertaining content, getting people to share your content, use visuals, join Twitter chats and Facebook groups, and more importantly, be human. Lastly, create video content. People love videos, it's a fact. People would much rather watch something than what they would read it. And with your unique personality, you have nothing to lose. Keep them short and to the point, add some personality, and you have an excellent marketing tool. So to summarize, build an attractive website, work on your SEO, build a strong social media presence, and create video content. That's all from me, so be sure to engage with us on social media. On Facebook, it's JoziMyBeginning, and on Twitter, @JoziMyBeginning. We look forward to hearing from you. Until next time, keep focused.
Thanks to Brandon for those helpful entrepreneurial hints and tips. Let's see what entrepreneurial hacks you can implement on Talking with Tutors. Hello and welcome to Talking with Tutors. I'm Ziggy and today we're chatting to Linda about cost. Hey girl.
Hello, and
How are you?
Well, thanks, and you?
Cool, so tell us about what is a cost?
Well, cost is basically the amount of money that you're using to producing your product and in other cases your service.
So when you're looking at that, are there different kinds of costs you can consider?
There's variable and fixed. So fixed is things like your rent, and the variable is things that aren't fixed. So things that can change with production. In case there's a big order, then the amount goes up, or if there isn't, then the amount goes down. So fixed is rent and the amounts that stay the same continuously, and with variable it's completely different.
That sounds like a lot of stuff to remember. What are the most important things someone needs to consider when looking at cost?
It is exactly how much am I using to produce my products and my services? Can I get it anywhere cheaper? And I think the most important thing is to remember to be honest with yourself, and that will help in the success of your business.
That is pretty interesting, and I think it's quite helpful. Do you have any last tips for our viewers today on how they can manage their costs and sort of structure their expenditure?
See if you can get stuff anywhere cheaper. See if you can't get a business that you're working with your key partners, that they can't do more than one thing for you. And also I think one of the most important things is to get everybody together. That way you get more ideas and it's easier, to tackle questions and to come up with answers.
That's pretty awesome. Nani Zwela, and that's all we have today for Talking with Tutors. Still to come, we receive expert training and advice from Charlotte from Inquisition. We profile Barry Gear on his simple solution for laying and securing cables against theft. And Nolo chats to Gareth Armstrong on the big interview. All that and more after the break. Welcome back to your favorite entrepreneurial show, JoziMyBeginning. If you log on to our website, jozimybeginning.co.za, you'll find more informative resources about matters in and around the city of Joburg. We all know that when you know better, you do better. And to help us better understand the world of entrepreneurship, here's Charlotte from Inquisition.
The vital foundation for your design journey is built on gathering insights from the actual people who you're developing your product for. This means that you need a deep understanding of their lives in order to understand the context in which your product would be used. If you ignore or rush through this vital step, it's likely that you'll be wasting your time and effort by coming up with a product that doesn't actually appeal to your customers' wants or needs. one which your potential customer won't want to buy or use. One way of identifying, capturing, and analyzing these potential customer insights is by going out into their world with a camera. Start with careful research and planning. Who is your target audience? Where do they spend their time? A specific neighborhood, coffee shop, or a shopping center? What do you hope to learn about them? Then grab a camera, even a simple phone camera works well, and leave your desk. Go out to where you think your customers are. Your goal is to see the world from your customers' perspectives, to better understand why, when, and for what purpose they would use your product. Take photos and video, with consent of course, of what your customers are doing, what the surrounding environment looks like, who they're interacting with, and anything else you want to capture. You'll start to collect a story that you and your team can use as a source of inspiration to help you get a deeper understanding of the problem that you want to solve with your product. During this process, it's important to adopt new eyes, or an objective view, so that you're not projecting your own bias onto what you're seeing. Remember that you're trying to see your customer's world as it is and as accurately as possible, so you can make products that are based on real situations. This camera capture exercise forms part of a bigger design research process. See our website for the other activities that you should consider incorporating. The following are a few tips to get you started on the process of learning about your customers through your camera lens. 1. Plan your research. Decide what questions you want answered through your pictures. You will probably learn more than you had planned to, so leave room for surprises. 2. People and places. Plan who you want to be talking to and where that will take place. 3. Take pictures. Follow your planning guide to take pictures, but also feel free to explore any other relevant areas you may not have foreseen. Also take note of intangible things, such as emotions experienced or smells in the area. Remember to get permission to take pictures. 4. Learnings. Gather all your pictures and discuss learnings with your team. Try to uncover as many insights as possible, and then group them into themes that you can explore further. See our brief guide to camera capture on our website, where you will also find resources to start exploring the full design research experience. Thanks for watching.
For more training videos, go to our website JoziMyBeginning.co.za, where we enrich your journey through learning and sharing. We all know that cable theft is a nightmare, especially when it delays the trains and halts all the robots, causing chaos in traffic. Barry Gear has invented a simple solution to curb the problem of cable theft.
I'm an industrial engineer, graduated quite a few years ago, but always believed that and always felt that the engineering side was a little bit too technical for me, and I preferred to be a little bit more in the creative space. And that's, I would often look at situations and always subconsciously trying to think of better ways of actually doing it. And sometimes it's, sometimes it's a curse, because you never stop coming up with ideas and trying to think of better ways of doing things. With this particular product, I was approached by some engineers at a municipality to look at a situation that was a big problem, and that was cable theft. And you kind of think of the idea and you sleep on it for a while, and at 2 o'clock in the morning you get the idea and you're up and you're sketching and you think, okay, maybe this can work, and you try it, and hopefully it works. And I was lucky enough in this case that everything did work out. This is the actual product. We've called it the Securi cable, and as you can see, it's a really simple device. Mild steel anchor, everything is made from mild steel, and this is really the bracket that is used to clamp the cable to the device, and this whole device is then buried with the cable underground. Theft is a big issue and costs the economy a lot of money every year. This device is very simple, it's very cost effective, and it prevents people from stealing cable from underground, and yeah, it works pretty well, and I think the key is that it is so simple and so cost effective. We did do a test in front of some guys, but we haven't presented it to any municipality. You know, sometimes when you develop something, you become its biggest skeptic and you kind of put it on the back burner. Until I was, you know, asked by one of the guys in the city of Johannesburg to put it forward, and I did. And you know, things just really, without expecting anything, things really progressed nicely, and now we're sitting at this point, which is really exciting. Essentially what happens when guys remove cable from the ground, the modus operandi is to disconnect. Say for example, it's between two lampposts. They'll disconnect the cable at one end and tie that part of the cable to a vehicle, and then they'll just simply drive, removing it from the ground. What this device does is it has a round plate that serves as the anchor, and because you're bearing all the soil on top of it, it provides huge resistance to the vehicle that is attempting to pull the cable out of the ground. What happens is every 5 or so meters, this device, which has a large round plate that creates this huge resistance from all the soil that is compacted on top of it, prevents the vehicle from pulling it out of the ground. It's so incredibly simple, yet so effective. As part of the test, we used 2 vehicles, a standard bakkie, and then we also used a 7-ton truck to try and extract the cable from the ground. The resistive forces that we got from the 7-ton truck trying to pull a 25mm cable out of the ground, it actually snapped the cable before it removed it from the ground. So that just proves how incredibly reliable and successful the product is. There's obviously a wide variety of cables that are used, and the product can be used on any size cable without affecting its price at all. So really one size does fit all. You know, unfortunately in these you know, economic times, theft becomes a big issue, and it affects all communities, you know, whether it's homes, hospitals, businesses. And the fact that it is part of a City of Johannesburg project, JoziMyBeginning, Jozi at Work, you know, employment is also an issue, and we look to utilize those programs to assist the city, whether it be digging of the trenches, you know, securing the device, you know, to the cables, preventing, you know, the huge damage that is done. And I think, you know, there is definitely, you know, positive spin-offs in affecting the communities, because everybody needs electricity, and it's very frustrating when essential services go down. So hopefully we can contribute to that.
Sharing knowledge with others can be rewarding, and not just in an emotional sense. It can fetch a pretty penny too. Nolo speaks to co-founder of Future CEOs Gareth Armstrong about how he's turning knowledge into profit. Next, the big interview.
Welcome to the big interview. We're joined by Gareth Armstrong, the founder of Future CEOs. Gareth, it is often said that the team makes the dream work. How important is it to have the right founding team when you start something?
One of the CEOs of a company that's worth 3 billion rand once said to me and chided me a little bit, because he's a mentor of mine, a friend, someone that I can go and talk to. And at this point, I didn't have anyone that I was working with. And he said, if you don't have a person who you can talk to, who you can confide in, but who's operationally with you in the business, you're going to fail. And he said it like that: you will fail. So there's my answer. That's how important it is. If you don't have that, you will fail.
That's so great. So we know that you need to have the right team around you. But how does one go about choosing or picking these people to add to your team?
It is a good question. Of course, you need skills in your business, and a diverse number of different skills. So, of course, there will be someone that has the vision component of the business down. There will be someone that's operationally strong, maybe someone that's better with marketing and sales. But really what you want to be looking for, and the questions that you need to be asking, are around what that person really wants. Their intent is very important. I was with another CEO, I don't know if I can mention brands and names, but the Momentum Metropolitan merger resulted in MMI. So the MMI group, the group CEO there, Nicholas Creer, I asked him the question, how did you get these two businesses to come together and work? How did the teams come together and not see each other as maybe enemies in some form or fashion? And this is what he said. He said, I just got them to trust one another's intent. And so that's where you need to go. Find out what their values are. Find out what really drives them. And that is then the basis for the relationship.
That's absolutely great. So you mentioned two businesses coming together and making that work. And it is often said that, and research does show, that diversity or diverse teams outperform teams which are homogenous. And obviously in your case, your partner in Future CEOs happens to be a black female. And we all know that behind every successful man is a woman rolling her eyes.
Yeah, that's right.
So how has diversity, if it has, affected the success of Future CEOs?
Well, let's talk about Hlubi. Who is she? She is in many respects, an entrepreneur in the truest sense of the word, someone that has to move around and, I guess to a certain extent, hustle her way through or in an industry that is very difficult, being film and television here in South Africa. So she has a certain celebrity status as well, but that's not why we work so well together. There's lots of value there that we can take into Future CEOs or use as Future CEOs. But her and I, we met under a certain set of circumstances at Cliff Central, where we host a show together. And it wasn't a case of, hey, you've got value, I've got value or skills. It was, hi, this is who I am. Hi, this is what I believe, what I feel, what I want. Diversity comes, I think, after what we just spoke about, which is intent. I'm not maybe answering your question as I should, but diversity is absolutely important. We need different perspectives. You must, in our particular case, with Future CEOs being in South Africa, we must have for want of a better way of saying it, a black female insight. We must have the understanding that she can bring. But then it's also equally as valuable to have a white male insight because there's challenges that we may face which are different to what Hlubi may face.
Absolutely. I think that's absolutely great that you mentioned the importance of perspective. So in South Africa, I'm going to ask you if there's one quality a person should be looking for before they collaborate with anyone, be it in the same sector or difference, what would that be? Just one quality.
A quality. I don't know if I can answer that question accurately, but perhaps I can suggest a question that you should always be asking yourself when you are interacting with an individual, if I may. And that question is, can I trust this person?
Sure.
Can I really trust this person? Trust is at the basis of everything, of every relationship, of every interaction. I mean, even when you're selling something, you're building a relationship of trust in some form or fashion. And so when it's closer to home, your business partner, the person who you want to move forward in your business with, trust is the thing, everything.
Well, thank you, Gareth. That was Gareth Armstrong, the founder and CEO of Future CEOs. My name is Nolo, and thank you for joining us today in the big interview.
Next week, we continue tracking our JMB finalists. We learn more about the makings of a successful business and catch up with another budding entrepreneur on The Big Interview. Before I go, don't forget to share your thoughts with us on social media. That's all from the JMB team and myself, Mfigi Mkhize. Cheers.